What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of 4th and 15 with Mel and Smooth. I am Mel, and joining me as always is Ronnie, Big Smooth Hennigan. Smooth, what's up, man?
Not a whole lot, brother. You know how these weekends go. You try to get something planned and whatnot, and the time go by, and then it's Monday again. That's
Man,
exactly
Monday,
what that
Monday.
is, man. What about you?
Uh, well, let's start from the beginning. It is official. We are in state playoffs, and we are hosting. Thank you, Jesus. We are hosting against Perkins High School out of Sandusky, and
Nice.
just just ready to have some fun, man. Just ready to get. I'm ready to get to Friday. To be honest, I'm excited. I ain't never been to
Well,
state. I want to see what that atmosphere look like.
congratulations, man, to you and the whole, Lutheran West crew, man.
Oh man. Oh, speaking of which, well, I'll save that for later in the show. Save that for later in the show. I'm excited about that too, but I'll save that. But speaking about excitement, our guest for the night is the man of the hour himself, Ashton Day. Ashton, what's up, man? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. The man of the hour is probably somewhere else in AEW, but I'm the man of the year.
Man of the year, my mistake. I apologize. I thought it's too many. It's too many of y'all. It's too many of y'all.
There's too many man of these, I know.
Yeah, it is. But let's fast forward a little bit. Actually, I met you a couple years back at Fastlane.
Yeah, I was
You were,
flyer in fast lane for the place I trained at. We were having a show, so I dressed up in like full purple gear and went and flyered like every bathroom in the whole arena, all of Tower City. I actually got in trouble in Tower City because I was putting flyers everywhere, and they told me I couldn't do it, and they almost kicked me
how you
out.
get in, how you get in trouble for flyer passing? Like I've never heard somebody get in trouble for that.
Man, I don't know. He was just looking for a reason to be upset that day or something. But
Man.
That sounds like the security guards at Tower City. Ain't nothing changed. Ain't
Hmm.
nothing changed. All right. So I meet you there. I tried to get in with the mega crew, but it's just too far for a drive. But I catch you again at Premiere, I believe,
yeah,
where
Premier.
you beat up a fellow opponent who had just got done with a match. And I went home that night and I saw one of I think they interviewed you and they were like, "Why'd you hit him? Why'd you attack him?" And all I remember you saying was just, "You want to know why? Buy a effing ticket and come to the next show." I thought that was amazing
Yeah, man.
because you don't hear bluntness like that. You hardly ever hear bluntness in pro wrestling, not since DX.
Yeah, I know, man. I try to keep my promos as good as I can. I like to believe I'm a pretty good talker, so it's definitely one of my stronger suits in the game.
Yeah, and very well articulated because I over the years since then I've seen a lot of guys and we've come to meet a lot of you guys. Just very articulate, very smooth in the ring. You guys are very talented at what you guys do. And speaking of that, the best promo I've seen in recent memory outside of the fellow 20-year vets we both know. I saw you were I can't remember the name of those guys, but you guys had a tag team match against them, and that was the
Yeah,
promo for
yeah,
that. And he was
yeah.
like, "I tell you
Exactly.
why. I'll tell you why." Man, it just you got a way of being funny without trying to be funny, and that's a great thing.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. Sometimes
so,
I just turn the camera on, and I just start talking, and then I'll talk for maybe 5-10 minutes, and then I'll just rewatch it and pick and choose what I like, and then I'll just re-record it with what I like. And then sometimes I won't do that. I'll just go on the fly and see how it goes. But yeah, that promo was for Battle on the Border, where I'm a member of the Reject Academy right here. Shout out Tyreek Kalam and Brian Conville. They are a part of that group, and I'm just a part of that group in that specific promotion. and we were just facing a tag team, Justin Xavier, and I'm drawing a blank on the other kid's name. They're both so good. They're really talented. A lot of potential on them too. But we were just facing them, and Jaden Jett, Justin Xavier, and Jaden Jett, and yeah, that was one of my favorite promos I've ever cut too. Especially the we got 2 words for you, and you think I'm gonna say "suck it," and you can't. Yeah, it was one of my favorite promos I've done for sure.
Not gonna lie, I honestly went with the. I thought you were gonna say "suck it," and then you say "you can't." I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, he's good. He's good.
Good goal,
So
man.
yeah. So while we're on the subject of that, give us your story. What was your background, and how did you get started in pro wrestling?
Um, so going back all the way from the beginning, I did like backyard wrestling on a trampoline with some friends of mine. Like I don't know if you're familiar with Atticus Coger, and his
Hmm.
brother. We wrestled all together, just messing around, and then that kind of stopped happening, and I was at a standstill. I was still in high school at this time, so I was kind of not really stressing about not wrestling at the time because I still got high school to deal with, and I was doing musicals at Playhouse Square, so I had a lot going on, and so I ended up going to homecoming senior year, and there was this kid there, a really quiet kid named Khalil, and I just so happened to super kick a friend of mine in the hallway at homecoming, and he saw me do that, and then he called me in by the door, and he was like, "Hey, are you like a fan of wrestling?" And I'm like, "Yeah, dude, I wanted to be a wrestler and stuff." And he told me that he was going to wrestle in Columbus on a trampoline and the backyard, and it was with Myron Reed and Jack Andrews and Corey Storm, a bunch of people, and he invited me to go, so I went, and it just kind of took off from there. We just went from a trampoline to a ring, did IWA Mid South tryout shows. So I kind of had a little bit of a head start before I started training. Like I definitely wasn't ring ready, but I knew how to bump at the very least. I could hit the ropes right. There were certain things that naturally I was able to pick up on. And then I ended up meeting my girlfriend, and she lived 2 minutes away from where Mega Championship Wrestling was training. So I would just
Shout
go to
out to
her
Mega.
house on the days. Yeah, shout out Mega. I just would go to her house on training days and then ride my bike up there and train. So that's how I got my start. And the rest is history. I've been wrestling ever since.
Now, you said you were doing musicals at Playhouse Square. How did you get involved with that?
Pretty similar. I was in high school, and everybody knew I was a musician. I play guitar and I sing and piano and whatnot. So one of my science teacher just happened to point out on the school calendar that there was a musical audition coming up, and I was like, oh yeah, we went to see the musical the year before, and I remember thinking, man, I'd love to do that. So but I didn't really plan on going when she told me. But then another teacher that I had used to work at the School of the Arts, and
Hmm.
she told me that she was sick of the School of the Arts kids getting all the roles in the musicals, and she wanted a kid from a school of hers to
Nice.
be in the musical. So she drove me and 2 other students to audition, and I ended up getting the lead role. So
Nice.
I was the lead role in that musical. It was Memphis, the musical. I played Huey Calhoun, and the next year I was a principal cast member in Kiss Me Kate. So I got to do it twice. It was some of the best like experiences of my life for sure. It was awesome.
So here I thought it was only Cleveland public school kids that hated school of the arts kids, and here it is. We see something
No,
different.
man, I love the School of the Arts kids, man. There's so much soul and passion and talent over there, man. Like nothing but positive things to say about them. They helped me a lot too, progressing my own voice and my own performing. So, but yeah,
I,
that's how
I,
that's some of the musical stuff I've done for sure.
I was going to ask you about that. So, with the experience that you got in the musicals and the acting that you did there, do you feel that helped you a lot in terms of the character that you deliver while you're wrestling?
Oh, absolutely, man. Like I've always been pretty good at public speaking, but I've never been good. Um, I was never good at putting myself out there in that kind of way. Playing and when I did the musical, uh, it was like I wasn't nervous at all because I realized I wasn't myself on that stage. I was playing a character. So I
Hmm.
didn't need to feel embarrassed about any actions or anything I did on that stage, any movements, any, funny dances I did because I was able to, be like, oh, that wasn't me. That's my character, man. So in wrestling, that really translated over very well. So now I'm able to put myself completely out there, and all I got to do is just it's not Zach, it's Ashton Day that's doing that. You know what I mean? So it definitely helped me just become a much more well-rounded performer, and I am not afraid to go big with the performance aspect of professional wrestling. So um, definitely, I think if I wouldn't have done the musicals, I wouldn't be where I'm at today in terms of wrestling as well.
Nice.
Cool, cool. Now, my question, I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to want to know this. How did Ashton Day become Ashton Day? What led to almost, because I promise you, I've seen you do it before, so that's why I'm thinking they stole it from. You know, gimmick infringement doesn't mean anything to Vince, but I remember you originally using a guitar in some of the promos that I've seen. So how did Ashton Day become Ashton Day?
Uh, well, to me, I believe that the best way to develop a character is to find the similarities between yourself and the character you want to portray. So I believe that Ashton Day is just an accentuated extension of myself. Um,
Mhm.
so I've just kind of taken my own personality and aspects of my personality and just turned it up to 100. And it just kind of blossomed from there, where now you know, even people like when I wrestle at certain places, the promoters will have certain ideas for me, and I'm like, man, I really like that. I'm going to apply that at other places, and so it's definitely a work in progress still to this day. But in terms of the inception of where Ashton came from, it was just kind of me just being me and just turning it up as high as I could.
Cool. Now you've been. Uh, I've always followed. I try to keep my hand or my ear rather to the local pro wrestling scene, and uh, you're one of the best welterweights I will say in the state. Uh, what is what is the challenge for you to be a welterweight and then want to expand on that? Like what makes you in your mind what makes you better at what you're doing than most people would?
That's a tough question, man. I'd say truthfully, I believe that I'm one of the best welterweights in the country.
Mm.
I just think um, I didn't apply myself the way I should have for a while. Like back pre-COVID, I'd been wrestling for 3 years before COVID, and I was only about 140 pounds, 145 pounds.
Yeah,
And
you had a hell of a
I'd say,
transformation.
yeah, man, I'd say 2020 and COVID was, ironically, a really good thing to happen to me, at least, because I got to really take that time to reflect on myself and realize what I needed to do to be taken seriously. So I put on about 30 pounds. I'm sitting pretty at about 165 now, trimmed some fat down, and I feel great. And truthfully, to me, it feels like my career just started because I
Nice.
kind of went from I went from, wrestling primarily scramble matches and
Mm.
never really having the opportunity to really put myself out there, 6 to 8 minute matches. And there's only so much you can do with that. And now I've been given more and more opportunities to, show what I can do. And so it really feels like, my career just started. So, I'm really looking forward to the future. I think in terms of what sets me apart, I think my, for lack of a better term, my well-roundedness, my versatility as a performer is what's going to set me apart. I can play the comedic role, I can play the serious role, I can be a good guy, I can be a bad guy, I can put it all in the ring, I can talk the smack and walk it as well. So I think the way that I present myself is very professional. I think I'm a good spokesman for promotions to have, branding wise. I think you can't go wrong with me. So I'd like to believe that eventually the right people will see that, and more opportunities will come, and we'll see where the future takes me.
Yeah, I really agree with all of that because I've seen it for myself, and it's a great thing to watch. Just watching you guys in the ring, especially over at Mega, because you guys put on decent, shows, decent promos. Everything is where it should be as far as the production value and the presentation. But I do have to ask. You mentioned the Reject Academy over at Battle of the Borders.
Yeah,
Who's the group that you're with now at Mega? Because I maybe it's the fan in me. It's probably the fan in me, but I notice y'all do a lot of dirty, underhanded things, man. What's going on with that group?
yeah, man. I'm a part of a group right now called Cash Inc. It's Ken Vasion is kind of the managerial position for that. We got James Schuyler, who's my primary. Well, I guess I wouldn't say that now. I think they got James Schuyler and Gavin Gradley kind of tagging together, and I'm kind of the solo person right now. Um, I believe we've officially added somebody else to the group at the last show, but I can't remember his name. It was the first time I'd ever met him. But yeah, right now we're just looking to build, to just keep building every show. I mean, even this next show, November 6th, that cashed out. It's in Vermillion, Ohio. It's named after us. You know what I mean? It's named after Cash Inc. So we definitely have a lot of momentum, and I think all of us play a vital role in that. I can't take credit for it. I can't. It's all of us as a whole. We play our parts perfect. So yeah, that's what I'm doing right now at Mega. We got Cash Inc. going on. I'll be wrestling Malcolm Monroe III and Zoe Sky on November 6th. It'll be a great show. So I believe Trey Miguel will be there. He's the Mega champion.
Mhm.
So we got some good stuff going on. So
Nice, nice. I will be sure to try to follow that one. Now,
For sure. And
I do
then
remember. Oh, go ahead, Ryan.
I was gonna say, man, I know you said it's gonna be in Vermillion. Just talk a little bit more about it, for those that get a chance to, check this out or to be able to, you know, look at it maybe like live or later on, however. Just, give us an idea of like how people can get access to that to be able to see your show, whether it's, them streaming it, seeing it in person. Go ahead and drop it, man. They love to hear that.
yeah, so I don't know the address off the top of my head, but it's in Vermillion, Ohio. Um, it's November 6th. I believe the show starts around 6:30, normal show time. If you want to learn more about that, you can go to Mega Championship Wrestling on Facebook. All the match cards, flyers, information is all posted there. We also sell tickets online at, I think the site's called yapcity.com. So you can also buy tickets directly from the performers, from myself, but it's a little more difficult that way because they're physical tickets. So I'd say the best way to purchase a ticket is online. The link is on our page, Mega Championship Wrestling, and yeah, it's definitely, and it's family friendly show as well. So if you've got kids who love wrestling and love watching WWE and love watching it on TV, it's a family friendly PG show. So it's all ages.
Nice.
Yeah. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong on this. My memory is bad as being a football player, taking too many knocks to the head. But I remember you were you not a part of the last premiere wrestling show?
Yeah, the final premiere event. I was in the welterweight rumble. That was a very bittersweet day, man, because it
Yeah,
was
I was
awesome
gonna
to
ask
be a
you about
part,
that.
you know. Yeah, it was awesome to be a part of something like that. But Premiere was one of my favorite places to work. It's really sad to see it go. You know what I mean? It was something I looked forward to every month, being a part of it. It was, I feel like, one of the first places to really believe in me and give me an opportunity. So, um, I got nothing but good things to say about that. And maybe one day it'll all open back up. Only time will tell. But for now, just all I can do is put my nose to the grindstone and keep moving on. So, you
Yeah,
know,
it's
Yeah, man.
just gotta
because
you know
premiere was fun. Premiere was
appreciate
fun.
the time
Like
we had.
it was like that was how I was getting my start. Just getting to know the guys over there, Andrew Palace, Calvin Couture, name a few. You, it
Calvin's
was
how I made my
fun.
debut there.
Really, I didn't know that. That's just
Yeah, it was
learned
really
something
fun.
new. Yeah,
Yeah,
I was sad.
he,
I was sad about that show as well.
yeah,
All right.
absolutely.
Um, you said you got a. Did you have anything over the weekend? Any bookings? Any shows? Or do you have any shows coming up before the
Yes,
November show?
on Friday I worked at Midwest in Marion, Ohio, it was on my birthday too. 24 years old on Friday.
Oh, happy
Um,
birthday!
Nice.
yeah, thank you. So I wrestled Matthew Taylor, who is just a brilliant mind to work with. It was my first time meeting him and working with him, but gave me great advice. I did happen to get an injury that night. I kind of bruised my rib doing a dive, but I'm feeling better now, just a little sore. And it was one of my favorite matches I think I've ever had, for sure. It was I got to test out new stuff, new material, and adjust from there. So Midwest is another one of my favorite places to go. So
All right.
Cool.
For the fans, we gotta because I know people are gonna see this a little later. I know you got people that are gonna be watching a little later. Drop your social media information. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, drop social media so we can
yeah.
have these people get in touch with you.
So on Instagram, it's just at the Ashton Day. On Twitter, it's at the Ashton Day _. And then Facebook is just my Facebook. I don't really have a page on Facebook. I mean, it's Ashton Day, but I'm not as active on there as I am on Instagram and Twitter and whatnot. So, yeah, those are really the only two that I have right now.
Okay. And anything for your match coming up on the 6th? Anything you want to send out to your opponent?
Just that, I'm going to be taking the dub no matter what. So, I mean,
Ooh.
Hey, there you go.
Oh wait, there's a
I got a
belt
lot
on
of
the line.
respect for
He
the.
didn't say that.
I got a lot of people or a lot of respect for the people that I'm wrestling that night. So I know it's going to be a fight, and but I'm not afraid to scratch, claw, and kick ass to get a W. So I mean, if I got to break the rules a little bit, that's what I'm going to do.
Feel that.
That's what's up. That's what's up. All right. Well, we know you got home life and you got to heal up for November 6th. So we appreciate you so much for being on. Thank you very much for taking the time out.
Man.
And we
Anytime.
will
I'm sorry
be.
I had to do it in my car because I got the kids. Man, they're loud. Just
I
wanted to
mean, you
be
ain't
able
got to
to
tell
be
me.
Oh, we
quiet.
know.
I
We know how
was
it
about to say you
is.
ain't got to tell us. We know.
No.
We know.
Yeah, man. But
But
anytime, man. I'm more than happy to come on. This has been a pleasure.
we appreciate
We
it, man. We
appreciate
will
you,
keep
man.
that in
Seriously.
mind. So heal up, and we will see you on November 6th.
Absolutely. And if you want to have me back on afterwards, recap the show, I'm down.
I got you.
Cool.
Hopefully, you'll be
For
having
sure.
some gold too.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Oh, yeah.
All right, man. Well, we appreciate it and thank you for your time.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
It's been a
All
pleasure,
right.
man.
Of course. Have a good show, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
All right. So that was the man of the year, Ashton Day, sitting with us for a little bit. Great guy. I have nothing bad to say about him.
Yeah, you can
All
see
right.
the.
With that, go ahead.
I'll say you can see the humility, man. It's pretty cool. He
Yeah.
definitely is serious about his craft, man. And like we said before, I'm hoping he comes out with that belt because I didn't know it was a belt on line, man. So
I ain't either. He didn't say that. He
we need to come
did
back and
not
hoist
say
it up.
that.
You know what I
Oh
mean?
man, I can only imagine what that promo gonna look like. All right. So with that, we have a couple topics we're gonna probably breeze through because as of right now, the Colts and the Niners are 0-0. They're just getting underway,
Mm.
but we'll come back to football. Uh, talk a little baseball real quick.
Ooh.
The Braves punched their ticket to the World Series,
Mm.
and they will be facing the Astros as we already expected, as the Astros pull back and you know they for whatever reason, I don't know if it's the signal stealing, I don't know if it's just strategic game planning. The Astros seem to get it done. So my question in this particular instance with the World Series going on is, are they going to be able to keep that momentum against the Braves? Because we saw the Braves just took out a 106 win team in the Dodgers,
Mm-hmm.
and
That's
nobody expected that.
no, and it's something I was gonna actually talk about to you today too, because remember how last week when we were on the show and we saw that they were moving their pitching around a lot, and we were saying how
Yeah,
that probably could set up the current pitcher that was on last week for him to have a later start. Well, when I was looking at that game, the problem is he was set up, ready to go. I thought he was rested up and, about to go out there and do his thing, and they didn't use him. I'm like, you pulled him during like the fifth inning last Sunday, literally last Sunday while we were on the show, and then he doesn't play. I'm like, I wonder too, like if that contributed to that as well. Like it just felt kind of weird.
I
I didn't hear about
I
any
thought that
injuries
was
or anything.
I thought that might have been like a psych job, honestly,
Hmm.
because why would you pull him and he's doing decently in the fifth? Why would you pull him and then
Yeah,
now the rotation comes back around and he's ready, but you don't play him. You play
it
somebody
made
else. I thought that was weird too.
uh,
But then again,
it,
I'm thinking, but then again, I'm thinking maybe they know something about their team we don't know. Like maybe they
yeah,
they know they got the advantage, and maybe they just was like, you know what, we don't need it. Fuck it. On to the next, and we'll use you coming back around because you know after the series is over, the rotation resets. So
hmm,
maybe that's what they were thinking. They had the leg up in pitching as far as the bullpen's concerned. They had
true,
the leg up over the Dodgers. The Dodgers just had bigger bats and the ability to put people on base. So in my head, yeah, that works for the Dodgers, but if you can't hit, you can't get anybody on base. And that was probably what the Braves were thinking too, because they're in the World Series.
true. The way I see this going right now, because you figure your first two games are in Houston, and then you got three in a row in Atlanta. So it's like, all right, well, obviously Atlanta's going to want to get at least one win out of this first two, and then hopefully try to close it up at home. I don't think it'll be that easy.
Me
Um,
neither. Me
both
neither.
teams are super scrappy. I feel like it'll be, I, I'm still sticking with 6 game series. Um, I don't know if this one goes 7. I feel like both teams are going to do what's necessary to try to close it out. But I do see both teams um, potentially getting a win in each other's park. I don't see a sweep. You know what I'm
No, I
saying?
don't. I don't see us. I honestly see this one going 7, and this is why I see this one going 7. I see this one
Mm-hmm.
going 7 because I think that teams and people don't really appreciate how good Atlanta's bullpen really is.
Mm.
Like, keep in mind, like I said, the Dodgers won 106 games. That don't happen often. And this was a hell of a Dodgers team.
Yeah, it
And
was.
this Dodgers team was known for putting up big runs. Like, they were known for putting up five or more on multiple occasions this season. So when you're going up against a team like the Braves, who's known for having a bullpen, you got to take that into consideration. And I think the Dodgers took it into consideration, but I don't think they took it as serious as they should have. And
Right.
I think that was where their downfall came in, because I think that they felt like they were just going to go in here and just run all over them. Now realizing, the Braves have one of the best pitching farm systems. I'm not going to say farm systems, but I say pitching farm systems in the league.
Mhm.
They have the best, if not one of the best bullpens in the league. And it's like, it's been like that. They just never had the bats to back it up.
True.
And they play in the NL, so pitchers have to bat as well. So it's like you picking your poison when you play the Braves. You either want to score runs or you want to keep the game close. And 9 times out of 10, when you keep the game close with the Braves, you most likely are going to lose because you can't keep up with their pitching.
True. And you figure, like, looking at this, like you said, I feel like the Dodgers were looking past them. Because you
Mm-hmm.
figure the Dodgers definitely were a favorite, and they have
Mm-hmm.
like almost 20 more wins than them on the whole season. So they're looking at them like, oh, y'all barely got 90. You didn't even have 90 wins. They were 88 and 73. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
Like, right, bro. Like, you only a few games ahead of half. Like, no one's looking at you to win this. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all are
And
literally
they
the
did.
underdog. They're the
And they did.
underdog. And man, like, they have a chip on their shoulder, and they're gonna do what's necessary, man. It's just it's a cool story to follow, because it's like we haven't seen this in a long time. We've seen some
Yeah.
teams pop up that, you know, haven't been in it in a while, like kind of when, Kansas City randomly won the World Series not too long ago, and
Don't
Chicago and
remind
all
me.
that. And but it's funny because during the season those teams showed up. Like, you saw how good they were during the season. You just knew,
Yeah.
like, okay, yeah, they gonna go. You know what I mean? But with the Braves, it was like, okay, y'all just trying to fight to get in the first place, in the NL East. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, they were just looking for that. Like, that for them, that would have been cool this year. Like, okay, cool, we won a division, great. And then you can just try to build on that for next year. I don't even think they knew they was gonna go this far this year. And to see
I
that
don't think
happen
they
is
did
like, this
either.
is great. It's great. I love
They
it,
probably
man.
was sitting in the locker room like, hey man,
Like,
you
we really
believe
about
this
to do
shit?
this? Right, we really about to
Yeah.
do this? Like, this is
I
happening,
guess
y'all.
so.
Ain't a greater feeling in the world, man. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, as a pro, you're gonna play your best anyway. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But just the difference in talent, and like, you got a manager who, you know, I won't say he's known. He's just not. He doesn't have the
As
same
known.
prestige. You know what I'm saying? As some of the other ones that's out here. So I kind of feel like nobody was looking at Atlanta like, oh, really? Okay, they'll get knocked out first round, whatever. They're just happy they're here. But to be in that locker
Nah.
room, I can only imagine, just
Me
sitting
too.
there,
Me
just,
too.
just like, just in awe, looking at each other like, yo, bro, we still got games. Like, we about to really be playing this week. It's the World
Yeah.
Series. I just can't imagine, like, the hype, not the hype, but like the awe in it, just wrapping their brain around it even happening, man. It's crazy.
Man, it's gonna be an exciting World Series, bro.
Yeah, it is, man.
All right, moving on from baseball. I had to bring this up. I don't know if you watched it last night, but I happened to catch Nico Ali Walsh, excuse me, the grandson of Muhammad Ali, one of the greatest
Hmm.
boxers ever, and uh, it that fight really didn't last long.
No, I didn't
That
get.
fight really, it did. I don't think that fight went to the third round,
No,
and
I
if it
totally missed
did,
it.
I missed it. Oh, bro, like I promise you. Like his Nico got a couple knockdowns,
Mm-hmm.
and he was landing some good punches for the fight, like for the fight. And all of a sudden, Walsh knocks down his opponent, who was James Wesley from Toledo, Ohio. So he
Mm-hmm.
knocks him down for the third time, and Wesley gets up, and all of a sudden, you just see his corner just throw in the towel.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like his corner really threw in the towel,
Wow.
and I'm like, is that was that part of what his corner was seeing? Because don't get me wrong, Wesley's a good boxer, so is Walsh, and Walsh was landing some very hard punches. Like if you go on ESPN.com and look at the highlights,
Mm-hmm.
like he knocked him down twice before the last knockdown. Knocked him down good the first two times, and then that third
Man.
round, he actually won. Walsh actually won the fight in the third round. As I'm looking at it, he won the fight in the third round. It was a
Mm-hmm.
3 out of 4 round. It was round 3 out of 4, and you know I get it. You want to protect the man, but why you throw in the towel so early? He still had a shot. At least I
You,
thought he did.
I'm
But
still
like I
trying to
said,
think. I'm still trying to think of the last time that someone got a towel thrown in. I
I
I I,
don't.
I couldn't even tell you. It's been a minute.
I yeah, I can't answer that either. And just it was just really interesting to see that. And I was like, how does that work? It was three knockdown. That was knockdown number three, like I said. But at the same time, it's like if you're his corner, why do you not give him a shot to bounce back? Because he even told his corner, no, don't do that. And it's on TV, so it's like I don't know. I don't remember the last time a towel was thrown in outside of Rocky.
Right, exactly, man. Oh, you know what? Now that you mention this, because my uncle, I think, was at this fight. Because him and my aunt were there. Because he posted a bunch of pictures, and I'm like, you never go to a boxing event ever. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, this must have been like worth it or something big. And looking at it now, I didn't realize it was in Atlanta, so that makes more sense. Um, and just seeing like some of these other fights that happened, like Evander Holyfield's son got a knockout, and then trailing and seeing the title fight they had as well too. So it was a decent card, you know what I mean? And I'm hoping they
Oh
have
yeah,
fun.
it looked like we didn't get to catch the rest of it, but it looked like it was a great fight, a great card rather. But, uh, I just was perplexed at the fact that the towel was thrown in. Like you hardly ever see that.
Man,
And
yeah, I'm about to watch all this stuff today, bro. I gotta check this stuff out. Like it was, yeah, man. I'm mad I missed this, man. I think that the problem too was like, with it being so much hype around like the Fury fight and Wilder fight and all that stuff happening. I think that's part of it too. Because for me, after having like a ticket that big and this being like their third fight of their careers together against each other, I should say, um, there was so much action involved in that, or so much hype around that. And then before that, you had, you know, um, of course, like the brothers that be talking all that stuff or trying to get their fights all hyped up or whatever from Cleveland and whatnot. So I don't know, man. I mean, I'm mad this one slipped by me because you people are like posting about it. You people are like, oh, I can't wait for this, can't wait for that, and I don't think it got the promotion that it deserved based off what I'm
it
seeing.
should have.
You know what
Yeah,
I
it
mean?
should have.
So I'm gonna definitely be following these guys going forward, man.
Yeah,
Sure.
you got to. Got to. All right. We move to the NCAA.
Man.
And we talked about this last week. We talked about the top 10 and how uh, four out of the top 10 were Big Ten teams. And honestly, I don't know why I didn't pay attention to this. I was stupid for not paying attention to this. Uh, I originally had picked uh, Michigan State to be the team that slips up.
Hmm.
Clearly, I was wrong, as Penn State falls to Illinois in 9 overtimes, which is a college football record for the most overtimes, but not the longest overtime.
Hmm.
So, yeah. What are your thoughts on this happening? Because now the East is down to 3 teams instead of 4.
See, and we touched upon this a little bit last week. So the biggest issue I had was once again, I put my faith in Penn State and they let me down again. Now, for those watching, I am not a Penn State fan by any means. Okay. But this happens every freaking year, bro. They
It
go
does.
undefeated for
It
like the
does.
first 6 weeks or something, and they just fall apart. And that's what happened. They just crapped and lost 2 in a row. Not a 5-2. It's not happening for them. That's it. That's it. You know, so
Yeah.
it's like, dang, man, here we go again. Like y'all doing the same thing y'all do every year, man. Like being the top 10, top 15, coming through halfway through the season. Everything's all great. And then all of a sudden, you crap 2 losses to unranked teams, and now you're done. Like you've fallen so far, it's impossible. They're not gonna let a 2 loss team in anything. You can win the Big Ten if you want to, which you're not because you still got 3 other teams ahead of you. One has a
And you
loss and
still
the
got
other
to
two
see
haven't
all
lost
three
yet.
of them.
And you got to play all three. You're not beating all three now. Golly, we've just seen that. Illinois came in just like Purdue did Iowa last week and was like,
Man,
look, man, we ain't got nothing to lose, man. We here.
you
We
don't.
showed
You
up.
really don't.
None to lose. That's a when you have a team that has nothing to lose, that is a dangerous team. They know they're not winning the division. They know they're not winning the Big Ten. They know they're not gonna be in the playoff this year. They just hoping to pump up the recruiting a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And maybe touch a
Very
bowl
true.
game. Maybe
Very
touch a
true.
bowl game. You don't want to see a
Maybe.
team like that. You don't want they gonna
Man.
play everybody harder than they need to play. They're gonna have all the minutes. People be playing both sides of the ball, whatever you gotta do. Okay? They don't
Yeah.
care. They
You're
don't
right.
care.
You're right.
Oh man, I'm like, I didn't think about that before. Like they scrappy like that. And it's always that one game, bro. Every year it's that one game. It could be Illinois, like you said, knocking them off this year. Last year, Indiana beating. You know what I'm saying? Like it's always something. So dang it, they didn't mess me up again. It's my 3rd season in a row where I'm like, oh yeah, Penn State might do. No, messed up again. So here we go. Right,
And
same mo. I got
and
fooled 3 times now.
what's funny about this is our show got started because of Penn State.
Yes, a Penn State. Yes, a Minnesota beating Penn State. This is exactly. This goes back that
Oh
time
man.
frame. This is exactly
Yeah.
it. This is
Yeah.
exactly it. That game was
So
2 years ago. The first time I said that crap. And here we go again. I don't know why I keep going against it.
I don't
I feel like a
either.
fool.
I You know what? Because you know what? I gave him the benefit of the doubt. I did. I
Dang.
honestly thought that they were gonna, you know, smooth it out.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I thought they were gonna smooth it out after that first loss. No, get it together. Clearly, I was wrong because your one chance to make a case for making the playoff and you blow it by losing in 9 overtimes. And really,
Mm,
the game should have been over after the second overtime. If for
true.
those that didn't watch it or that did watch it, you were supposed to end that game after the second one. And honestly, I saw Jamel Hill tweet. She said, "I heard of a team refusing to lose, but or something along that line, refusing to win. This game is awful."
Man.
And uh, I'm not gonna say she was wrong, but what I'm going to say is that I think this new overtime rule is going to expose a lot more teams as because you have to go for two now.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't understand for the life of me why neither team could stop each other or, get the two and then get the stop. I couldn't understand it. I was just like dumbfounded. Like, how do you not? You right there.
Right. It just tells a tale, man, of how that game went. You know what I'm saying?
And and
Oh my
now
God.
Penn State then dropped 13 spots to number 20. So yeah, you're
Oh my.
right. It's a done deal. It's a
It's
done
so
deal.
done. And just seeing that, because what made me mad about that whole situation was these dudes dropped that far, and it was just enough to push freaking Alabama back up. And it's
Yeah.
just like, man, what the hell? So
But
now they skipping
but
three
think
different
about this
teams.
too. But think about this too. It actually helped out Cincinnati because Cincinnati they were already number two in the AP, but in the
Yeah.
coaches poll, they moved up a spot over Alabama from three to two.
Hmm.
So as long as knock on wood, as long as Cincinnati can keep pace and stay the course, that group of five chatter is going to be over,
Oh
and
yeah.
you're gonna have to let it. You're going to either have to expand it, or you're gonna have to take them into more consideration next year.
Even better, man. And like, recruiting on fire. You know what I'm saying? It's just, oh man, it's looking pretty good, man. I really hope they finish out and make sure that they, get that championship as far as the AAC and getting that playoff, man, because they're definitely deserving of it. And it also shows it wasn't a fluke last year, man. You
It
know what they were
wasn't.
able to do.
We know that it wasn't a fluke. Oh, look, we never once said, or we didn't. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Never once said that Luke Fickle couldn't coach or couldn't, get a team together to
Hmm.
be strong enough to play, go into Notre Dame and beat Notre Dame, take Georgia to the wire. We said if they had the same advantages as Ohio State, as Alabama, as Clemson, it would be a different story. And I think he heard us because clearly it's looking like it's going to be a different story. And I honestly think they, assuming Oklahoma can not shit the brick before
Man,
November,
man.
Ohio State may miss this as much as I hate to say it. They may miss it if all four teams stay the course. Two of those teams still have to see each other in the championship, being Alabama and Georgia. But everybody in the top four is still got to stay the course and will still have to have their championship game.
That's very, very true. And then looking at this a little bit more closely too, you figure you got your top three in that side of the conference. So you have Michigan, Michigan State, Ohio State now, since Penn State got knocked down. You still got Iowa on the other side. Now, will it be enough? Probably not. But, if for some reason they get into the Big Ten championship, because no other team on that side of the Big Ten is close to them right now. That'd be an interesting matchup to see how that goes if they were to somehow pull it off and win it. And then going a little bit further with that, you figure Georgia has the annual, Georgia Florida game this week, so that's pretty huge. And they're playing that, I believe, in I want to say it's in Jacksonville this year. So that'll be interesting to see as well too. Nobody has any hope in Florida the way that they've lost, their games this year, and what they've done in the last month has been just atrocious. So it'd be interesting to see. But yeah, man, I feel like right now the way it's shaped up, it would be nice to see, Cincinnati still stay in it. And then just to see even Ohio State get a knock too as well, man. I think we're at a point now where since he definitely has proven themselves, they are for real. So, let's see them ride it out and see what they do. And they actually did pretty well against a Navy team that actually has been really, really good on the defensive side of the ball. No one's talked enough about that. I feel like with the Navy, they did really well to slow Cincinnati down. I don't think people really expected that, but
It's
they did a
actually
good job,
interesting
man.
that you. It's actually interesting that you brought that up because we were out last night and we're talking to some guys that were sitting in the booth next to us,
Hmm.
and they were saying how did Cincinnati look like crap against Navy? And I'm like, you gotta understand,
What?
Navy has one of the most complex offenses in all of football. Like
Yes.
that offense is very complex. If you don't know how to find out how to fight through the blocking schemes, if you don't know how to prepare for it defensively, you're going to have problems.
Hmm.
And we all know Navy ain't a bad team. It's just it's a down year for them.
Yeah.
And uh, you know, last year they didn't have this problem. They still lost to Cincy, but Navy kept up with them. And I think people take for granted the way that Navy's offense is set up.
Yep.
Keep it real, man. Let's just look at reality. Navy's not recruiting athletes; they're recruiting soldiers. Servicemen, servicewomen. So it's not like they are looking for the best quarterback in the nation, the best running back in the nation, the best 5-star, 3-star. They're recruiting for servicemen and women.
Hmm.
Now, if Navy decided to start recruiting the way Alabama and Ohio State do, then you're gonna have some problems because then
Yeah.
that offense will be literally the hardest offense to stop on planet Earth.
And you know what
But
else, man?
until then, but until then, just leave it alone because Navy is still a good team.
And I'm glad you said that because the thing about Navy, and especially in this game, something that Cincinnati hasn't really had to worry about this season is playing from behind. So you figure they were the first on the board, you know. They also were, up by a field goal at the half because, they pretty much were like going behind whatever Navy did. Navy was the first one to put a touchdown on, right? Then here comes Cincinnati putting a touchdown on. Then Navy scores, and then Cincinnati again,
Mm-hmm.
and then all of a sudden it's tied 10-10, and Cincinnati kicks in, the field goal to end the half at 13-10. They haven't had to play like that all season. They forced
Right.
Cincinnati to throw an interception. Like they were making them do things that they haven't done all year, because like you said, at the end of the day, yeah, okay, some of these guys, maybe some played football, maybe some didn't, whatever, but at the end of the day, they're soldiers. They're literally soldiers out there playing, man. They're in top
Yeah.
physical form too. You know what I'm
And they
saying?
hold their own against a team that's supposed to be better than them.
Right. Exactly it. You know what I mean? So I think that it was cool to be able to see this, to see them like tune up and be able to actually hold their own defensively against this offense. I think that was a big test for them. They haven't exactly been the greatest against the run this year. So to be able to do what you did against the Navy and how they run their schemes on the ground, like that was very impressive. Hats off to them, man, for making that happen. And it definitely told them a lot about what their front seven looks like truly. And they should feel pretty good about that going to the rest of their season, you know? Like seriously. Now, what you said about Oklahoma, I ain't got no faith in that, man. They keep having these little magical comebacks and, you know, getting beat on in the first quarter and just like
But how long is
getting
that gonna last?
like getting your feet wet kind of situation and trying to figure out like, oh, what's the other team going to do to me, and then you all of a sudden go, oh, that's what their scheme is, and they just turn it up. That don't work for everybody, man, because you figure if they're playing a team, let's say like the way Georgia's played this year, you can't play from behind like that. They don't have.
Man,
They got
what?
the defense to keep you out of it. It's like you can't do that with all these teams, man. You can't keep doing that crap. So you figure they still got to see Oklahoma State. We all know what that's about. That's a great rivalry, and they might possibly see them twice because they figure
Yeah.
both of them haven't lost yet. If they drop one, whatever, because the Big 12 is wide open, so they end up being the number 2 team in the conference and see them in the championship game. Like it's just crazy, man, how they're playing right now. And then, not to jump too many games, but this would hit me just recently, even talking about that. The way that Alabama played in the first half
against Tennessee.
Tennessee, against this team is exposed. This team is exposed.
Oh, we've
Now they
seen
were
it,
exposed
but
in the beginning, but this is
look,
that's
look.
ugly. That was an ugly win.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. We've seen it all season. The problem is, and I know some people are going to laugh at this, but this, if you really do the research, this is the case. Since Nick Saban has been in the SEC, his teams have been dominant in one form or another, whether it be offense or defense.
Yep.
Even going back to 2003 when he was there with LSU. This is no secret. So now everybody is seeing that the SEC is not what it used to be. And if they're not seeing it, they need to, because this ain't the 90s SEC where everybody's beating up on each other and a team may have one or two losses. This is Alabama and everybody else. And you know, Georgia may squeak in there because they've been a thorn in Alabama's ass for the last 10 years, you know, one way or another. But looking at it, outside of Georgia, who's really challenging Alabama once you get into conference play? There's nobody. Like, you put 50 up on Vanderbilt. You put 50 up on Arkansas. You know, Texas A&M may catch you slipping once or twice, but it's not consistent. It's far from it. And I don't think people have gotten that yet. Like, this ain't Peyton Manning's SEC. This is Nick Saban's SEC. It's a totally different playing field. Like, the SEC is not. I know I'm going to get a lot of flack about this, but the SEC is not what everybody thinks it is. And the proof is right in front of your face.
Yeah.
The proof is right there.
That's real. And then think about
everybody that has one loss on the western side has either lost to either Texas A&M or Alabama. I'm not making this up.
Yep, that's fact, man. And then even at the next level, you know, when it comes to players from the conference that are, you know, relevant or ones that are making the biggest contribution in their teams, what teams they coming from? You know,
Najee Harris.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you got Bama.
Mac Jones.
Because it's all Bama. It's pretty much just Bama, you know, well, Georgia now. And then you got a bunch of random players here and there. You know what I'm saying?
We trying.
So, but yeah, man, that's the biggest difference.
Like, honestly, everybody thought Florida was going to be able to take Bama down. Florida is looking real third place right now in the East Division.
Man, they look like
the closest team to catch Alabama, or could try to catch Alabama, is Ole Miss. But Ole Miss is, you know, Ole Miss is still trying to find their foot. They got a new coach. They got a former Alabama coach, but a new coach, and they trying to find their foot.
Yep.
Like, unless Nick Saban has a heart attack, you know, global catastrophe, you know, both for knock on wood things. I'm not wishing ill on the man. I'm just saying, unless something catastrophic happens, Alabama is going to continue their dominance because, one, players are going to want to go there. Two, Nick Saban has a stranglehold on the conference. Like, show me somebody that's consistently beat Alabama in that conference. Crickets.
Yeah, it hasn't happened yet.
And I don't think it's gonna happen unless the climate changes and recruiting in the South for that conference dramatically gets an overhaul and they just like bring in, some team brings in like the greatest recruiter ever, I don't see that changing for at least another 5 years, man. To
Now,
be
speaking
honest.
of which, what I want you to do, I'll give you some homework. There's some recent 5-star pickups that have been happening this past week. Take a look at that and get back to me on that and what team they went to.
They probably went to Alabama. It's either Alabama or Georgia.
Georgia, dog. This past week there were like 5 or 6 that were either picked up directly or they just default and said, okay, I'm not going to go here. I'm going to go to Georgia now. And
I
it was
wouldn't
interesting
surprise
to
me.
see because, like, the thing is, like, I feel like the difference is just the way that the offense is clicking without being at full strength. I think that made the difference for a lot of players and saying, okay, well, it looks like you guys are finally not running the ball 50 times a game. That definitely makes that more exciting and more worth trying to come over and then seeing some of the transfers they got, because there were about 2 or 3 players that had transferred from Clemson to come over. And then you
Who
got,
they take,
but
man? Did they get exposed?
see, that's the thing, man. Like, there's a lot of movement happening. And what I want to see, though, is, this would be the year, right, to steal it. At the same time, I think going forward, though, into next season, it's like, will Alabama be the same way that they have been? Will it be like, more of a neck and neck between, these two schools and that's pretty much it? Because it sounds like both schools are stealing all the recruits from the other ones in the conference right now from what I'm seeing. And that ain't good either. You know what I mean? It's good for them too. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to the conference collectively and to your point that you made about the SEC in general, definitely the way it used to
It's
be.
right there. It ain't even
It's
got to
just
be my
crazy.
point. It's right there. Like I don't understand why people don't see it. Like the SEC, I get it. A lot of teams don't really beat SEC teams in bowl game and bowl season and all that. But what happens in season is what's really important. Like
Yep.
bowl games are just for everybody else's entertainment and for
Hmm.
you to earn money. But the real nitty gritty comes in how many championships in the SEC has Nick Saban earned? Like one. Like, where is the gap? There isn't one. There may be one year where LSU wins and that's it.
Hmm.
And they may
True.
fall off.
Speaking of which, who do you think will be the next coach for LSU?
Uh you know what? I actually heard a rumbling. I don't think it's true, but I actually heard a rumbling that uh Mike Tomlin's name might be in it, believe it or not. And I
Mm.
actually heard his name, also heard his name pop up with uh, LSU as well.
Mm.
So I don't think that'll happen
Hmm.
unless, Mike Tomlin gets forced out.
Yeah.
And I don't think he will
Nah.
because he's too good of a coach. But I have heard his name. I have heard the name of I think Pete Carroll's name might have been mentioned once or twice, but I don't think that's serious either.
Hmm.
It's just Pete Carroll's in his late 60s, early 70s. I don't think he's gonna, jump back from the pros to college. I just, I just personally think it's not a. I don't think those are desirable jobs right now. I
That's
just
true.
don't.
It's very, very
And
true. Because my thing is
I
like they're trying to figure out too, like, who they're gonna actually try to go after. Because right now there's been talks of the same 5 people, right? I don't know if it'll pan out, but the names that have been thrown out there so far were Dave Clawson, who's the
I
head
did
coach
not
of Wake
hear that.
Forest. Also Mark Stoops,
I
Kentucky.
did hear about that.
Mel Tucker, which I hope to God that doesn't happen. Oh my goodness. That don't know. Please don't let that happen. Man, that would be, oh man. I mean, that'd be great for the conference, but no.
It'd be
Okay.
heartbreaking for Michigan State though.
Oh
They
man,
just got him.
just got him right. But hey, we've seen some steals happen, right?
Yeah, we have.
They're saying Jimbo Fisher,
Why?
and then they're talking about Lane Kiffin as well,
Why? He
possibly.
just got the Ole Miss. Why?
That's what I mean. Like it just don't make any sense for me either. And there's been a couple of other names thrown out there as well too. You know, some of the defensive coordinators from different teams and whatnot. The offensive coordinator from Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, Rep,
Um,
Eric Bieniemy.
hmm So there's some names out there, man. I don't think they should be trying to like swipe guys like that. Just be like, oh, I know you just got there, coach, but why don't you come on over here to Baton Rouge and that's jacked up. I ain't saying it's like not a possibility, but it's what it is. I mean, and then who's to say they wouldn't just bump a guy up on something they want to? That's the only thing.
I get it, but some of these schools just got these guys. Like you gotta
Yeah,
chill out. Like I get it's a scramble, but it's a lot of qualified people that y'all ain't even touched yet. Like
yeah, I
maybe
agree.
I'm crazy.
No, not at all. And here's my thing. Honestly, I like the Wake Forest look. I like that because what you're doing there at that basketball school, what they're doing right now at the eight, they're still undefeated, man. They are
I saw
7
that.
and
I
0
saw that. They beat
in the
Army.
ACC right now. Who thought? Listen, man, they're leading the
If
conference,
this
dog.
if this was
Wake Forest,
basketball season, I believe it.
Wake Forest football is at the top of the ACC right now. Do you even hear? Does it even sound right saying that
No,
out
it
loud?
don't.
It
It
is.
don't. I
I can't wrap my brain around it. Like
it, it
I get it,
it
but
don't seem
no,
right.
bro,
It don't.
no. That's
It
okay.
don't.
Let me tell you how it makes me feel, man. I'm gonna lead this along after this. Hearing that or saying that out of my mouth, it makes me feel like if somebody was to tell me that next year Vanderbilt would be like the number 2 team in the SEC East. That's what that feels like.
Um.
That's what that
Yeah, I
feels
don't believe that one.
like. Vandy. Like,
Jay Cutler. I don't know nobody else from that school.
oh
Jay
God,
Cutler.
man.
That's it.
The only person that you would even think to know would be the current head coach of Penn State. That's it. Player
Yeah,
wise, though, oh my gosh, what?
that is crazy.
If you
That
want a
is
good
crazy.
academic education, go there, kids.
You want to play
Academic,
bad? Tim Duncan probably sitting up there like, what the fuck is going on here?
right? Exactly, exactly it. Exactly it.
All right. From that, we will move to our last topic in the NFL. And it was some surprises that I was not expecting
Mm,
today. First
mm.
off, New England puts 54 on the Jets, and the first it's the Jets. I get it. It's the Jets. But for you to put 54 up, that's come on, man.
That says
Come
a
on.
lot. That says a lot. And
It says
speaking
a
of which,
lot.
didn't Zach Wilson get hurt?
Yeah, he got hurt. He's to go. Excuse me. He gets an MRI tomorrow, as we all know. Got to be a
Mm,
protocol on Monday. So hopefully it's not too bad and he's able to
hmm
come back. But yeah, if I'm Zach Wilson, I want out of New York. Just be
Man,
honest.
I mean, if you just look at what they did to Darnold, man, it's almost like, bro, you see the writing on
Yeah,
the wall right now. I don't know.
damn. On right now, you should have saw it last year. Like
Well, yeah, me too.
you
Um,
see what's going on in New York. I just think the money overshadows that.
no, for sure, for sure. And then, shoot, speaking of New York, man, The Giants over the Panthers, though.
That was surprising.
That was
That
25
one
to
was,
3.
yeah, I didn't expect that.
Ooh,
I was like really thinking that Carolina would, but you got to remember Carolina is missing Christian McCaffrey. That does play a big part in their
big
offense.
part.
And as good as Darnold is, if you don't have a running game, you pretty much up shit's creek without a paddle. So
Very, very true. And, speaking of lopsided wins, these Chiefs, man.
oh, that's what I was about to say, man. Did you
Bruh.
see how they got? Did they get exposed today, or is it just the Tennessee's playing at a high level right now?
Nah, bro. They look the most success that they saw this season so far was against Cleveland.
And even that was a fluke.
And that was a fluke. Look at them now, bro. Like the thing that bothers me is they're literally fighting to keep themselves out of last place in the division. Didn't think I would say that beginning of the
I
year,
didn't either.
but they're literally fighting to stay out of fourth place. At this point, the Chargers and the Raiders are running that. And
Yeah, because
Mahomes
the Raiders beat the Eagles today, 33-22.
see, and Mahomes is, man, like I feel like they're figuring him out right now. Because you figure week to week, right? No matter who's playing, there are specific defensive packages that he is struggling against. And we're
Yeah.
seeing it, right? Certain coverages are really confusing him. The fact that he couldn't get them into the end zone, the fact that he, is throwing these picks the way he's throwing these picks, man, and it just, some of that's like, okay, I get it. His mama still wants people to not count it if a player drops the ball. I'm still gonna talk about that. I think that's hilarious. No disrespect, but like, I don't need my mama coming out
I'm not
throwing
gonna
tweets to me.
disrespect her. I'm not gonna
You know what I'm
disrespect
saying?
her, but if she look, I'm not gonna disrespect nobody, mama. But if she feel that strongly about it, she need to call this man and have his game sent up to him.
Man, seriously though, make it happen, man. Make it happen, bro. I was
Get
just
that
like, come on,
quarter-mile challenge going.
right? And then here's another thing that got me today. Not only did that game go down the way it did, and they just said that he did pass concussion protocol, so he's cleared of that. But
I think that was very quick.
Right, it was. But the thing is, man, they struggle all around, right? Not just him. So you couldn't stop Tennessee. You let AJ Brown go off on you, and then on top of that, Mahomes was a leading rusher today. That tells you anything. And like you said,
that tells a lot. Excuse
if
me.
you can't run the ball,
that tells a lot.
You in trouble, man. This is not the league for that. Like, you have to be able to run at least a little bit. Like, you can't just be out there like, oh, we're going to pass 60 times a day. No, it don't work like that.
My thing was with that. Because they held Derrick Henry to 86 yards, which ain't bad. But, theoretically, when you hold Derrick Henry to under 130 yards, they're supposed to lose.
Yep.
And you held Derrick Henry to 86, but you let Ryan Tannehill go off for 270.
See, that's where they messed up. Yeah, man. See, that's what I'm saying. And then it's another game where Mahomes had another interception. That brother's thrown how many games straight now? Was it 16? Or something? I mean, I get it, man. Things happen. I'm not going to say it's impossible, but goodness gracious. You the guy that extended 10 years, man. Like,
yeah, you got your extension early.
Gosh, I don't know what to say. I mean, you figure now because you got oh, that's what I forgot to say. Derrick Henry had a touchdown pass.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I did
Yeah,
forget about
see
that.
what I'm
So
saying? Like they throwing trick plays in it. They just like we're gonna have some fun today. We exposing y'all all the way. We're gonna psych you out. We're gonna bust your quarterback up. We ain't
and
got to
they
run all
did.
over you like you expect us to. Our wide receivers gonna go off. We're gonna have our running back throw a touchdown in the red zone. Like it was just a complete slap in the face, man. And then they blanked them the first half, bro. It
Yeah.
was 27-0 end of the at the end of the half.
Speaking
They pulled
speaking of
back. They pulled back. That's what they did.
speaking of speaking of pulling back, the
Oh
surprise
man.
game for me that I watched earlier was the Cincinnati Baltimore game.
Oh man. Oh
Cincinnati
man.
now takes control of sole possession of first place in the division. Granted, the Browns have not played a division game yet. They won't play one until next Sunday.
Oh man.
But
True.
the fact that Cincinnati beat shit down Baltimore's leg, I have to ask, are they for real? Or are we still just seeing a flash in the pan?
I think that um I feel like they are for
Just
real.
I was
I
about
feel
to
like they're
say,
for
just
real.
remember, just keep in mind for the day, Burrow throws for 416 and 3 touchdowns. Jamar Chase has 201 on 6 catches
Right. Like
and a
half of that is
touchdown.
that's the experiment we talked about last week. Get the guy from my school experiment.
Yeah.
It's been very effective. It has been. And here's the
You know what
thing:
else?
Chase got
I
on
know
it
what
because
I
think
was gonna say. I know what else is crazy about this. I know where you're going with the experiment, but I also figured I have to throw this in because I think this plays a part in it. Because have you ever noticed when a team gets new uniforms or a new uniform scheme, they start doing
mhm,
good, they
yeah,
start winning.
yeah,
I think that's got to play a part in it too. Because Cincinnati's uniforms look nicer than they have in recent memory,
yeah,
and
man.
all of a sudden they're first place in the division. So
Right. You can't have new unis, man, and suck, man. Your unis can't be better than how you play.
that's
that's just
true.
terrible,
That's true.
you know. And
You're right. You're
they
absolutely
they
right.
they definitely have been stepping it up. And I know Burrow's on a mission because of how he got hurt last year, man. That dude is
Yeah,
fiery.
very true.
That's the guy they need, man. That's the guy you need. And he's definitely proven himself to be someone that you can definitely see play on an elite level. Um, he's just a smart guy, man. I can't remember the last time that I saw a quarterback play the way that he played in college.
Not for
And
Cincinnati.
right, right. You know what I'm saying? And then to come here and to, be able to still make those type of decisions or just be smart with the ball. And from the shot the way that he did as a rookie as well too, man. It was just impressive.
Yeah, it is.
So I'm all
It
for that.
is.
And then I think what also got me too was looking at the schedule, you figure, like to your point, Cleveland has first division game coming up on Halloween against Pittsburgh, and then they play the Bengals. Um, Now the thing is,
Make you jump
though,
right back in it.
yeah, it's crazy. But here's my thing, man. I'm afraid for the Jets next week because after they put this beat down on the Ravens, they probably got all kind of confidence going into this game, man, and seeing how the Jets have been playing. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they gave another 50 some points
Now
uh
watch. Now
this
here go the
upcoming
funny
week.
thing about this. Watch they beat the shit out of Baltimore and then they fuck around and they gonna end up losing this one to the Jets.
You know what? That would be the Bengal way. That would be the Bengal way, man. Because the thing is, like, okay, here's what cracks me about them. They remind me of how you know following Cleveland has been for a very long time, where at one point Cleveland would play to the strength of their opponent, and it was just so frustrating to see because it was like, okay, so you're gonna have, like, okay, prime example, the year the Giants won the Super Bowl and they came to Cleveland that year after that in a primetime game, and they ended up losing 35-17 to Cleveland. It
Man,
was
I
just the
remember
craziest
that.
thing to see. And you're just like, who is this team? What do y'all think y'all doing? Y'all really like hanging with them? Y'all just driving down the field and forcing a whole bunch of 3-and-outs and just making Eli look
Yeah.
crazy. Who is this? And then you go and you end up dropping one to Jacksonville. Like the same team, healthy. It was the most confusing thing to see. You're just like, okay, so when you had these big games, you beat them teams. But then you got these games that you're supposed to win. You found the most embarrassing way to lose them. It was just like, man, that's the most frustrating thing ever. And it's the hardest thing to talk about because you saw the different pockets of talent that's happened over the
hmm
years. And you're like, man, they got this offense, but that defense is trash. Or you're like, okay, that defense look pretty good, but they can't run or throw the ball. Like, golly, man,
And
what
you
was
know what?
wrong?
I'm glad you brought up Cleveland. I'm glad you brought up Cleveland for that reason. Okay, going back to Thursday night, we see Case Keenum get the start, and
Yes,
Case Keenum did exactly what I thought he was going to do against the team he was supposed to do it against.
there you go. Supposed to do it against.
He beats Denver. Uh, Dearness was it Dearness Johnson, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
He gets the start. He helps out. And ultimately he wins the game for Cleveland. Now, what do they do this coming week against Pittsburgh, knowing Baker may or may not be close to at least 50%?
Um,
Because they only sat him down because he got a second opinion, and a second opinion came back and said he needed to sit down. Now they've got from Thursday to next Sunday, they've got 10 days off, so the countdown has been on. But Baker, Baker's a competitor. He's a fighter. He's still saying that he can go. And honestly, I get everybody's enthusiasm, but it was against a crappy Denver team.
mm-hmm.
And I get it. Case knows the system. He's played for Stefanski. But do you trust him to win against Pittsburgh? Is my question. And what do they do with Baker if he feels like he's good to go?
I feel like there's two sides to this. So, and I'll tell you how I'm gonna break it down. Um, do I trust Keenum against Pittsburgh? No, I don't. Um, I feel like there's always something exotic that they're gonna see defensively,
hmm
and when you got someone like Fitzpatrick out there hawking around, I just don't think that is something that's smart. Because they're going to force that man to throw a lot more than he probably plans to. At the same time, though, with Stefanski, he needs to realize that, okay, for someone to be out there like Dearness Johnson and for you to still be without both of your tackles and you to have a, running attack like that still happen. And I get it, it's Denver, but any other team that would have probably been at least half of those yards would still put you at almost 100 yards that game. I feel like he needs to realize too, like, okay, we are going to have to give some extra touches on the run, right? We're going to have to do that. This game being at home, you know, I feel like that helps a little bit too because it's not easy to win at Hines. So I kind of feel like with this game coming up, it's a situation
You
where
need
do I
this.
trust? Right, you need this one, right? Do I trust Keenum to do it? No. Do I feel like he'll have to? Yes. That's the issue.
Mm,
Is Chubb coming back?
mm.
Yes, probably. Jarvis is already active. There's some chances there, right? Hunt's still out, of course. JOK is still out. It's just going to look real ugly. I think one of the two offensive tackles does come back, not both. I think what they're really going to do is say, okay, we got to figure out what's the best, scenario that we have based off what we have left to use to try to get this win. And then they're really, really looking at it, okay, like, let's take it week to week, evaluate it, do what we got to do. But at the end of the day, when you have someone like Cincinnati who's thrashing through people, and now you
Yeah.
got division play coming in, not to say that Pittsburgh's not a concern, but you have to look at Cincinnati and be like, okay, we shouldn't drop either of these games, but we especially shouldn't be dropping any to Cincinnati the way that they're playing and how far ahead they are in the division right now. I don't think
Hmm.
that's smart either. So it's like a damn chess match, man, because it's like I can't give you a definite answer as to, okay, this person versus this person, because there's like some change of the wind stuff right now, man. It's kind of jacked up because it's like normally I would say, okay, if Baker wasn't hurt, obviously, right? And then if both your running backs weren't hurt, okay. Because the thing is, you're thinking long term, like you don't want to drop a win to nobody. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah,
don't want to lose to nobody. But at the end of the day, man, I feel like they're going to end up having to start Keenum again, not because they want to, because they probably have to, and rest Baker another week and have him go up against Burrow. I also feel like because that puts you in a better position to win in Cincinnati.
yeah.
Like you figure trap Cincinnati is the trap of the trap, and sending Keenan up in there to do, man, oh my god, it's a
Well,
scary situation. It's
well,
really scary
for defense, I did hear this guy was up. He's in free agency.
right
You know, it's just OBJ fucking
man.
up. I heard this guy's out there too.
Oh man, yes, yes.
I heard them too. And then if you really want to go, you need a tackle. Yeah, but
Man,
what I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna leave it at this because this is my final thought on it. My heart is saying start Baker, but my mind is telling me if he gets hit and there's any more damage to that shoulder,
he's done.
this could probably be career ending. So unless they have a solution, some type of special harness built, uh, a cortisone shot that'll last for 6 weeks, I think Keenum is who you ride with until Baker is fully healed.
Hmm.
Um, yes, I am a Steelers fan, but I'm also a football fan. So logically, I want the best game between the two. But I don't think at this point, with the way Baker's shoulder is, I don't think he gives you the best chance right now. Just because whatever hit he takes, it's gonna hurt. You did say Chubb's coming back. I should be honest. I pair him with Dearness Johnson.
Oh yeah, for sure. And we've
What's
seen it
what's the
before
worst that
too.
can happen? Um, the defense is still lightweight intact. They did a hell of a job against Teddy, stopping Teddy from being Teddy.
Hmm.
But it's easier to me. This is just to me. It's an easier target this week in that Ben ain't gonna move. He might do the little shoulder slide. He might do the little pull back where you getting blocked and you can't get him. But as far as him running, he's not gonna run. Teddy will run. Ben's not gonna run. He's gonna stand there and throw. So I do think, and then with Juju being hurt for done for the season, I do think
Hmm.
this gives this matchup a even keel, so to speak. But it's really up to Keenan you know, whether he wants to show he still got it. Uh,
True.
I I I don't I don't count him out, but I also don't trust him to beat the Steelers in as far as throwing the ball. He made all the short throws last week.
Yeah.
Jarvis helped him out a couple. The run game helped him out, but we all know, like you said, defense and the Steelers and defense go hand in hand. So I'm really hoping Stefanski pulls a rabbit out his ass and makes this happen because you go down to Pittsburgh, not Pittsburgh, you go down to Cincinnati a game behind everybody else. This one's gonna hurt. This I just think that they need to figure something out for Baker. If he's gonna
Hmm.
go, fine. If he's not gonna go, shut him down. Hit him with the franchise tag. Pick up his fifth option, and then hit him with the franchise tag, and go from there. But if you send him back out there and worse that, and like we get it, it's his left shoulder, but it's still a shoulder.
Yep.
That's your arm. You need it. And Sean Salisbury even had said it. He's had that surgery before. It's a pain in the ass. He didn't get it till 3 years after he retired, but still, it's a pain in the ass injury.
Yeah, man. And
So
something else I wanted to point out too is the familiarity of Baker with Pittsburgh defensively, I would say, is Joe Sherbert.
yeah,
Now, this is something that I didn't think about till now because they picked him up in the offseason, right? They were looking for more linebackers and somebody to kind of help out with Watt because of Dupree leaving and stuff like that. So with Sherbert, or Schobert, I should say, um, he's very familiar.
Sherbert.
Sorry, I'm hungry, bro. I can't help it. My bad. I could use some sherbet right now. It'd be great, like the raspberry
Wow.
kind. But let me stay off of that. Uh, so with
Oh
Schobert,
my God.
the way that I feel is he right now knows Baker the best, right?
Hmm.
He don't know jack about Keenum. When it comes to Baker, though, he knows exactly what his tendencies are, how he's going to throw. He may know how he gives away, where he's going to throw, where he's going to go with it. And Schobert is really good in coverage. He's not the
Yeah,
best
he
run
is.
stopper, but that dude be picking balls off. So it's like I wouldn't want Baker to see him in that uniform and have to go up against him right now with his shoulder all jacked up too. So like
All they got to just take one blitz.
that's what I'm saying, man. And Schobert gonna be right there waiting. That dude reads quarterbacks, man. I'm telling you. People gonna probably look at this and be like, "What's he talking about?" No, man, he was doing that here before he left and went to Jacksonville. He was doing that here. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
it was.
saying? He wasn't like coming up and stiffing you at the line when you run the ball, but you drop him back, you got to look out for him. You have to. That's the reason why he's so relevant. You know, that's the extra layer that they have in the defense now because he's there. That's why they brought him in. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I think that's where you have your X factor at is in that position. Um, so yeah, I don't want to see Keenum have to throw the ball a whole lot, but at the same time, I don't want to see him go up, see Baker up against Schobert, especially with him being hurt. Your throwing motion ain't right, man. It's just not a good
Yeah,
look. It's an
you're
interesting
not as
game,
accurate
man.
as you want to be.
Nope, the velocity might not be there. You know, because I mean, I get it. That one throw that he had that, DPJ came up with, like that was one throw, one freaking Hail Mary. You can't be like, oh, he threw the Hail Mary. That was a Hail Mary. You chucking that shit as hard as you can, hoping that somebody comes down with it. It's not the most accurate throw. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
right.
for all we know, he could have done more damage when he chucked that thing. I don't know. So
That's true.
I
That is
don't know,
true.
man. The game does have me a little bit nervous. I think it'll be closer than we expect it to be for sure, because of the offense. But we'll see what happens, man. I do think Keenum starts again, though. I definitely think
I
he
don't doubt
does,
that. I don't doubt that he doesn't start.
and not because
But
we want him to, but because he has to.
but as bad as it seems, it's not worse. It's not the end of the world.
Right.
So I think I think the Browns have a good shot. As much as it pains me to say that, I do honestly think they have a good shot to win. If they can keep the ball out of Ben's hands and keep Ben on the sideline, the
Hmm.
longer he stays on the sideline, the better it is for the Browns. So I'm with you. I want this rivalry to get back to where it was in the 80s and 90s.
True.
But, you know, with Ben on his way out and with Baker hurt, it doesn't have the same flair. I mean, you don't get hyped for Keenum versus Ben. You get hyped for Baker versus Ben.
Yeah.
But with that, I do think Keenum is the right way to go. And there has to be some type of game plan behind it where they don't involve Fitzpatrick and they don't involve that blitzing defense because they're going to be blitzes coming.
Hmm. And I really hope they're ready for that. I hope Stefanski has, something up his sleeve. We're hoping for a lot more like Probably a couple more touches, some screens, the usual, to kind of like help combat that kind of stuff. But
Right.
I don't know, man. We'll see. Definitely another short game package when it comes to the, passing game. I wouldn't try anything long, deep, bunch of little slants,
Yeah.
drag routes, the usual, man. No play action. Oh my God. Please no play action. Keenum's
That was
play action
bad.
is trash. Like,
Terrible.
it's so bad. He cannot sell it. He can't. And the thing is, even with Dearness Johnson running as much as he did, the defense still was like, man, you not about to hand that ball off. Like, come on, man. We see what you're doing, bro. Like, that's how bad it
Oh
was. I'm
man.
like, this man ran
I
for
know. I
100.
watched it. I watched it. We talked through every game, bro. I know it's bad.
Oh
It's
my
bad.
God.
He doesn't sell it. I get it. It's
It's
terrible.
yeah. So I'm nervous about it. I am. I'll say that. The defense definitely should be rested. So it'll be interesting to see, both Newsome and Ward out there and Greeny rotating in, who's been very essential this year. It's been pretty cool to see
Yeah.
him
Yes.
pick it up a notch. So and then Johnson finally getting a lot better at the position as safety, and Joe Woods the defense, and it's starting to click for them, man, which is cool. But I don't know, man. We'll see what happens. It's gonna be exciting. It's definitely not gonna
Yeah.
be
It
like a
is.
blowout on either end. I think it's gonna be great. I really do.
Yeah. Okay. So, last bit of news. For those that do care, the Senate League sent 3 teams to the state playoffs this year. That being Glenville, who won the Senate outright in the regular season, uh, Rhodes, who came in second place, and John Hay. So congratulations to all 3 of those teams. Coach Andrews, Coach Ginn, and Coach DeCipita. Congratulations. Uh, it's great to see 3 teams in. I don't think that's ever happened, but it's
No.
also great to see Rhodes in, who is actually making history, as this is the first time they have made state playoffs in school history.
Mm-hmm.
So big shout out to them. Um,
And
which
to your
brings me to, you said what?
I was gonna say, man, you're definitely correct. First time that 3 teams have made it. There was one time when we were in high school where 2 teams made it. I believe it was Glenville and East High,
It
because at that
was.
point,
It was.
East High had dropped down to Division 2,
Yeah.
and we were still 1. So by default, High was in there. I think they were like 2 spots behind anyway. So yeah, man. But this is the first time that 3 have went for sure.
Yeah. And that's a good thing. Um, Shout out to also, because you're gonna like this. We also got city championship coming up, which we will be covering, be the last game of the season for us in the Senate. But a rematch of the 2018 Senate championship between John Marshall and Collinwood. Collinwood
Yeah,
actually got the win against John Adams. John Adams. It was a good game. It started off slow in the first half, but that second half it ramped up. But Collinwood's defense came through and they punched their ticket to the city championship. So it'll be a rematch of 2018, and I'm excited, bro. Like just to see Collinwood back in the city championship again. And it's only been 3 years. Like
yeah, man. That's
hopefully,
hey, man. You already know what it is, man. Gotta see the railroaders run them lawyers over, man. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
This will be it'll be a rematch from earlier in the season is when uh, Marshall won 50-8, I believe. So uh, anything's possible. It's gonna be a heck of a night. It's gonna be a great night. It's gonna kick off state playoffs. It's Thursday. Playoffs is Friday. So we gonna be there for every bit of that, and you can catch that here on our YouTube channel. We're gonna try and share it on social media if possible. But I'm excited, dude. Like anytime Collinwood does good, I'm happy. I'm
For
happy,
sure,
and
man.
they had a really decent season in the Senate this year. So,
Anytime the alma mater does its thing, man. You know.
yeah. So we'll see that. So shout out to all the Senate teams. Not just the 3 that made state, but and Marshall and Collinwood, but to Lincoln West. Shout out to John Adams. You know, East Tech and Kennedy. They actually had a decent game too. That was very entertaining. So shout out to the Senate. Thank you guys for giving us the opportunity to broadcast you and get you guys some exposure. Okay, that concludes tonight's episode. We'd like to thank again the man of the year, Ashton Day, for being on. A great guy. Like us on Facebook, follow us. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter as well, Instagram. Subscribe to us on YouTube to catch the game. And thank you for keeping us and supporting us and keeping us up on this journey as we keep moving forward. So.
For sure, man. We can't do this without y'all, man. So definitely make sure you check us out, subscribe, like Mel said, and hey, man, we're always looking forward to more opportunities. So, stick with us, man. Stick with us.
Believe that. All right. So for 4th and 15, I'm Mel. That's Smooth. Peace.